I'm joined by Paul Hunt from the Maitland Pickers. Paul, a lot of history right here at the Maitland Sports Ground.
Definitely, Peter. Yeah, it's been the centre of rugby league in Maitland for many years, for quite a few decades, and many a tight-fought battle has been waged here, and many of them won by the club, by the Pumpkin Pickers.
Mate, winding back the clock, the club's been around for a long time. A lot of history, a lot of proud history.
Yes, absolutely.
Talk to us about the early days. How did the Maitland Pickers come about?
Well, look, my understanding is that the two clubs in Maitland at the time decided to combine Morpeth and East Maitland and form Maitland United, so that they could join up with the Newcastle competition. And there's a story about how the Pumpkin Pickers got their name. And during the Depression, a lot of the boys would come off the farm and take pumpkins with them on the train to Newcastle, stop off at the markets and sell the pumpkins at the markets. Again, one of the formative moments of Maitland's history and the tradition.
Mate, is there one or two particular moments that you'll remember from this ground? Whether it's victories or losses or draws?
I remember a moment when Maitland was playing against Souths, and there was a young prop forward playing for Souths. I think it was Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown was playing for Maitland and giving this young prop forward from Souths a pretty hard time. And they were coming off at half time, and the South prop forward, his mother was here. She came across the fence and started waging war on Freddie Brown's head with her handbag. So that was a memorable moment. A great moment that I remember was when Merv Wright gave the bloke of Porter from Lakes United, who ended up playing for the Eels and Australia, I think. Porter was running down the field, and Merv Wright, who was half the size of him, picked him up and buried him, which was great to see. Merv's one of the great players for Maitland. 70s was a good decade for the Pickers, yeah, and that's about the time that I started playing as a young fella, so I had the opportunity to be a part of that, and was witness to probably one of the classic grand finals in 1973 when Maitland played West in the grand final at Newcastle Sports Ground. Terry Pano was towards the end of his career, and we had some representative players in that team. We had some players that really defined the game. A player that springs to memory is Bimbo Collins, who used to be able to kick field goals from his own 20-metre mark almost. And the field goals were worth quite a few points back in those days. Alfie Burke, Pano, as I said, Ray Waskovich, a rangy second row. I can still see him running down the far touchline towards the try line. I don't know if he scored, but he certainly was a difficult man to stop because of his long legs and solid frame.
Mate, as you look around the ground, of course, there's the old scoreboard up on the hill, up on the train station, into the ground. You've got the Dangerfield pavilions, you've got the Moreland pavilions, just steeped in history.
Absolutely, yeah. As I said, it's been the centre of rugby league for a long period, for decades. In fact, in the early part of the formation of the club, the Maitland Sports Ground was probably the what's the word I'm looking for? Premium sports venue in the Lower Hunter. Even though we did have a cricket pitch in the middle, which was something that all players tried to avoid during the game, especially after a particularly nasty wet season.
And I guess, a football team also means a lot to a community, and they go hand in hand, don't they? The rugby league team and the community at large. I mean, if it wasn't for the community, I guess the Pickers wouldn't be here, and if it wasn't for the Pickers, the community mightn't have a great team.
Well, what the committee believes, we have a belief, and I have a belief myself, that sport is one of the major elements that unites a community. I mean, it's a cultural pursuit that provides the opportunity for different areas of the community, for different people in the community to come together when otherwise they wouldn't. Gives the younger generation an opportunity to mix with the older generation and possibly learn from them. Young people have a lot of challenges and a lot more to face, and a lot more decisions that they have to come to grips with without support in some cases.
Thanks very much for taking us on a walk down memory lane. We do appreciate it, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, Peter, and all the best to yourself as well. Thank you very much.